Hello everyone, today we'll be showing you 3 different ways to make a pour over, including a single-use pour over, Chemex, and a V60. And we'll be using a variety of our beans, including our single origin Peru and Guatemala beans. So first up we have the V60, and for that we are using the Bialetti setup. I personally really like this setup because the coffee goes directly into the cup and you can enjoy it directly from that instead of having to pour it into a different cup. And we're also using their filters, which fit really nicely. So first thing I'm going to do is weigh out our coffee beans. I'm going to do a 1:15 ratio. So 20 grams of espresso to 300 grams of water. And I'm using our Guatemala single origin beans, and I'm going to grind it on a medium to coarse grind. I'm using the Baratza Encore grinder, and I have it set to about 20 or 21. And once my water has been boiled, I'm going to first pour it into the filter without the coffee. This is to preheat the cup as well as get rid of any kind of filter taste that might come through. Alright, so we're going to start pouring in the water. You're going to want to start your timer for this, and I like to start from the outside and work my way in using small circular motions. And this first pour, you want just enough to cover the coffee. This is called blooming the coffee. It's going to help degas it, and you want to pour just enough until it's covered and then wait 30 seconds. And then I basically pour in 90-gram increments about every 30 seconds or so. So it usually takes me around 3 to 3.5 minutes. And of course here I'm just speeding it up a bit. Also, we do sell all of these beans as well as the pour-overs, so I will leave the link down below for you if you want to check that out. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to take off the top, throw out the filter that has the coffee grounds in it, and enjoy my coffee directly from this mug. Next up, we have one of the most popular ways of making a pour over, and that is the Chemex. And for that, we'll be using our single origin beans from Peru. The type of bean you use for a pour over makes all the difference, so I recommend using some high quality beans. And as before with the V60, we're going to start by measuring out 20 grams of coffee beans. Again, if you don't have a kitchen scale, scoop out 3 tablespoons of beans. That might not get you exactly 20 grams, but it'll be pretty close. And then we're going to grind our beans on a medium to coarse grind. Down below, you'll also find all the links to all the equipment that we use and where we got it from. Once our filter is in, we're going to pour our hot water into the filter and along the sides. What this will do is it'll preheat the Chemex as well as get rid of any kind of paper taste that might come from the filter. And then we're going to pour this water out because obviously we won't be needing it. And I'm just going to spill a bunch of water everywhere, but this is something I forgot to mention with the V60, is you want to discard that water. So we're going to follow the same steps like we did with the V60. I'm going to start by blooming the coffee, and for that I'm going to start from the outside and work my way in. You could do the opposite, but just stop once all the coffee is covered in water, and you want to let it just sit for about 30 seconds to help degas the beans. After the initial bloom, I'm going to be pouring 90 grams of water about every 30 seconds or so until I reach my 300 grams of water. This whole process should take about 3 to 3.5 minutes. that's all there is to it. Making a pour over really isn't that difficult and doesn't take that much time, and you get a really good cup of coffee out of it. So at the end, my total time was about 3:30. By the time I stopped it was 3:37, and that's for 300 grams of water, and that looks delicious. And by the way, 300 grams of water is equivalent to roughly 10 ounces. So what I would have done if I didn't have a kitchen scale is take this cup right here because it's 10 ounces. I would have filled it up with water, boiled it, and used all of that to make the pour over. The third method we have here is to use a single-use pour over. This is personally my favorite way to make coffee because literally all you need is some hot water and this pour over, especially if I'm going hiking, backpacking, or camping. This is my go-to because it's super lightweight, doesn't take up a lot of space in my backpack, and you end up getting a delicious cup of coffee on top of a mountain. So all I'm gonna do is open this up, take out the pour over, and then tear it open along that dotted line, and then attach it to my cup. So just like with the other pour overs, we're gonna wanna first bloom our coffee. So to do that, I'm gonna fill it up to the top with water and then let it sit for about 30 seconds or so. And then after that, I'll just continuously pour suds at the top until my cup is full. And here I'm using a fellow kettle, which is really easy for pour overs because it has that nice swan neck spout. But if I were to do this on top of a mountain, I would use my jet boil, which works really well for me, and I get the exact same result. And just like that, you have a delicious cup of coffee. I'm just gonna pick it up by the sides and toss that out. We do sell these pour overs on our website. I will leave the link down below for you. It's a really fun way to make coffee, and I hope you all get to try it.